Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good day. Hope you're all having an amazing day today. My name is Lex and welcome back to GTA 5, where today we're going to be checking out these two cars right here. These are supercars that were added in the latest Imports Exports DLC update thing for GTA Online, and these were the two supercars that were available from the start. These aren't like the extra ones that are going to be added over time, and I thought as these two came out together, I thought it would be an interesting thing to do. And time them and see which one's fastest, see which one has the best 0 to 60 and all that sort of stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like a test with each one in their standard form. Then I'm going to go and tune each one because they also have some tuning things that you can do to them. Then we're going to come back and see how much they've improved. And I'm going to be using a stopwatch mod to do this because I am in single player. I am not playing on GTA Online. And that means with the stopwatch we can get a proper timer, because when I've done this in the past I've like stuck a timer up like afterwards in post, and I've not known the time myself, and I've just had to like put up a text saying, oh, he won. Now, with this stopwatch mod, we'll be able to know in real time who's won, which one's faster, what the exact time is, and all that sort of stuff. But before we get into all of that, there's going to be some comments and questions on the screen. If you would like your comments and questions featured, you can leave them in the comment section below. I'll pick some at random and feature them at the start of the next video. And don't forget, you can also follow me on Twitter, at Figureight, links for that in the description below. And don't forget, you can also get 25% off Loot Crate for the month of December, using the code in the description below by going to lootcrate.com/Figureight and using the code that's in the description to get 25% off. Right, so actually before we get tucked into these two, I just want to give you a quick heads up about this, because the video I did the other day on the LG Retro, or the R32 Skyline, which is what this pretty much is, there were a couple of bits that I missed out, interestingly enough. So if we just go back to here and we go to Menus Customs, for some reason, when we tried to tune this in Benny's, it didn't include all the stuff, for some reason. So actually, if we just go out here, and I change my camera here. So this is amazing. I can actually use this camera mod whilst modifying. We really need to start doing this instead of going to Benny's and stuff, because this is the more reliable thing. If we just go to Benny's Lowrider mods here, there is actually a bunch of stuff that we could do in the interior. So there's our plate holder. We already have that. Vanity plate was the grill, trim. See now, look, here's the sun strip. We didn't have this before. There's a sun strip right there, which is going to change depending on the livery. We also have dashboard. So we have the stock interior, the street interior, which gives us all of this stuff, which is amazing. The semi-stripped, which adds this stuff on. The race dash. Look at all this. I can't believe we managed to miss all of this. Then we have the flocked version. Then we have the carbon version. I'm so annoyed that I didn't see this, because that would have made my build so much better. Look, even all this stuff in the back. Look at this. This is go through. In fact, all of these. Oh, I see. So that the last three has that. Then we have that one, which also has the seats in, and that in the boot. So yeah, there was a bunch of stuff, and I completely missed it. I think there was actually dials. We can also add some pod-mounted tacos, different cluster things there. We've also got things over there. In fact, let's just go for the main full carbon dash. Look at that. Then we have all these dials and stuff here, all these different combinations. I'm so sad. Look at that, even a digital dash. Oh, it's so amazing. Mark III race display with the gauges. We can have it all like that, which looks absolutely amazing. The door cards we knew about. The seats we didn't really get a better look at. But I'm not really going to go through this because I want to focus on this today. But it's just to let you guys know that I did find out afterwards that there was a bunch more stuff that we could have done to this, but I just didn't see it because we're in single player, and obviously this isn't as refined as online, because Rockstar have made it so that these cars aren't really supposed to be in single player because they're mean like that. And of course you have to use mods in order to get it like that. So yeah, there was more stuff. Sadly, I didn't find out at the time, but there we go. So, on to these two cars right here. So, let's just jump back in to this mode and have a look around. So, this thing that you see on the left here, this is the Tempesta, which is based loosely on the Lamborghini Huracan. Actually looks pretty nice, I've got to say. The wheels look very Lamborghini-like, the front end's very Lamborghini. The shape, like this bit here, is very Lamborghini-like. And I really like this bit with like the coloured tips around the thing. I think it looks quite nice. I think it's a really nice looking car. And then we have this one, which is called the Penetrator, which is a nice interesting name. And this is loosely based, or mostly based, on the Jaguar XJ220 with some very interesting looking 3-spoke wheels that have also got like this little thing around the back here. Interesting wheels. Really interesting. I've got to say that I prefer the look of the Huracan. I think this does look dated, but of course I think in real life the Jaguar XJ220 does look nicer. But in this game, I'm going to have to give it to the Tempesta. I do think it looks better. But let's now jump in to the stopwatch mod, and let's see which one's quicker. Okay, so here we are. We've got our stopwatch enabled, and it's giving us this length of airstrip to do it. So all we have to do is get to the other end and hit the marker, and that will be our time. And as you can see, here is our stuff on the right, and it's not going to trigger until we move. So I'm going to rev it first, and go. And let's see what sort of time we can get. So our 0 to 60 is 4.3 seconds, which is a pretty good 0 to 60 time. It feels slow in this game, but well, that's definitely quick in real life standards. And here we go, 15 seconds. We're now over 100 miles an hour, so we don't even have to worry about the speedo in the bottom right anymore. Top speed of 103 miles an hour. We managed to do that in 21.4 with a 4.3. And also there was supposed to be a 60 to 120 miles an hour, but we never got that fast. I guess maybe we'll get that time once it's been tuned up, and it would be a little bit faster than that. Right, let's see how far the Tempesta fares. Okay, here we are again. Give it a rev and go. I don't know if that's going to give us the best acceleration, but if I just do that same thing with all of the cars, then at least it'll be a fair test, because that's what I had done in all my previous videos as well. This one is already shaping up to be a much faster car in standard form. 3.6 seconds, 0 to 60. And we are now at 103 miles an hour. It's only just... Wow, the top end on this is not as good. This is much better on acceleration, but that top end is only slightly better, considering that we managed to pick up speed at the bottom end much faster. So this is definitely more of a sort of acceleration-based car, whereas the Penetrator seems to be just, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's right to say that's slightly more on the top end, but this is only marginally faster, which is interesting. But we did get a time of 20.8, which is a much better time compared to the Penetrator. So I guess this is an all-round better car with just better acceleration, but not as good of a top end as I was expecting. Right, let's go and tune it up and see what we can do. So as we're outside, and I've already shown you the menus customs thing with this camera, I figure I'm going to actually modify it like this today, and you guys can let me know if you prefer it like this, or whether you prefer me to actually go into menus customs to modify this thing, because this actually might be a better way to do it, because at least we're outside and it just looks nicer, and we've got a lot more light here. So nothing in the lowrider mods, nothing Benny's related. So we have wheels. Well, I actually really like these current wheels, so I'm going to stick with those. But I wonder if we get a wheel color, can we make them separate? See, now with menus mod we can, but obviously with the Los Santos customs that isn't something we'll be able to do. But that's interesting. So at least if you got menus mod for single player, you can get an interesting look there. But I believe that that's supposed to be based on the original color. But I've actually now messed it up, because in default now just brings it back to silver. Maybe I should spawn that in again. Right, spawned it in again to fix those wheels, because I'm going to leave it exactly like that, because I'm hoping that if we change the paint color, it should change the wheels at the same time, and I quite like the idea of that. So let's go ahead and try that again. So menus customs, going to leave the wheels. Let's go to spoiler. So we have the stock spoiler, which is nothing. Then we have the tuner, which is ridiculously huge. Then we have the GT wing, again, pretty big, carbon wing type 2, and the higher level GT wing. I don't know. Let's see what they look like from a side profile here. That one's, ooh, that's a very interesting look like that. Not too sure about that one. This one's not bad. I quite like this carbon wing. It's a really nice shape, especially on the side. It looks really nice. This one is a little bit too big, but it is quite comical and it is quite mean looking. It is a bit too much. I'm going to go for the carbon wing, because I think personally that's the nicest one of the lot. I like how that looks. Onto the front bumper then. Let's have a look what we've got. So we've got the stock. We have the carbon splitter one, custom carbon splitter. Oh, that's nice. It's actually got the coloured tips on it as well, like the back. And then we have the one with the canards. Should we go for... Let's just go all out and see what we can make with this, because I'm curious to see what the modified one looks like. Skirts. We have custom skirts. Well, there's our stock. Then the custom, slight extension. Sport skirts, just a little bit of a shape change. And then the street skirts. I'm going to go for the street skirts because they sort of match up with the canards. And they all go together, so I'm going to go for that. Exhaust, well, we have the stock. Then we have the dual exit. It looks so much better with the stock. They're just so much nicer looking, so we're going to keep those. Chassis, roll cage, and chassis upgrade. There we go. There's our roll cage and stuff in there. Then we have the hood. So we have the stock hood. The carbon... Ooh, that's slightly... Oh, it's not actually the full hood. It's just that bit in the middle. The performance hood, which... How does that compare? Oh, I see. It's got the ridges. That's a little bit more Lamborghini-like. I see. Then we have the carbon version of that. the Aggressor hood, which has got these little bits at the top here. In fact, let's just move out and have a look. Oh, that's not so bad. Then the carbon version. Then the twin vent. Ooh, that's mean. Then the carbon twin vent. And then we have the high performance and the carbon. Ooh. I'm not too sure about that line right there. I'm going to go for this. But maybe I'm not going to do it in the carbon. I'm just going to do the standard non-carbon one. I think that looks really sort of mean. And I don't know. It sort of goes with the rest of it as looking quite angular and whatever. Very Lamborghini-like, because Lamborghini stuff is always quite out there. On the roof, we have the stock. Then we have aerial. Why? I don't know. Let's get rid of that. Engine. Here we go. Level 4. Now we're going to see how much better we're going to do. Race brakes. Don't really need to worry about brakes, but let's just get that all done anyway. Horn we don't need to worry about. Armor don't need to worry about. Paints. Here we go. Let's see what a matte colour is going to look like with this one. Oh, maybe it's the secondary colour then for the yellow. Oh, that's curious. Okay. I don't know what to do if we're going to go for two-tone. Not sure how this is going to look. Well, I'm going to go for a light grey and just see what we can get on the secondary one anyway. So let's go for secondary. Maybe another matte colour. Ooh. See, look, the wheels don't change colour. They always remain yellow. Maybe it's different in menus. Maybe it's different actually in Los Santos Customs. I'm not entirely sure. Black looks alright. Grey. Light grey is the same colour. Ice white. Should we go for like a grey? It's an interesting colour coordination thing. I'm not entirely sold on it, but it's quite different. But I did actually really want those yellow wheels to stay. Oh dear, I don't know. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe brushed black steel on the primary. Then in the secondary, I don't know if the other ones, see the metals, they're not really going to combine. Maybe I should just do the whole thing like this brushed black steel, as I think it's quite a nice shiny looking colour. It's, you know, it's sort of out there. A lot of people with supercars normally go for like a strange wrap just to sort of like, you know, make it unique or whatever. And I quite like that, and I guess we should change the colour of the wheels, which we'll have to do in the wheel section. So in the end, we ended up changing the colour of the wheels. Okay, fair enough. But I don't think any of these colours are really going to go with the grey that we've chosen. But it's an interesting wheel thing. I don't know, maybe someone can come up with a really... Oh, that's a paint colour. Don't need to worry about that. Oh, well, yeah, that paint code thing broke it. That's not awesome. Okay, I'm back in. I've remodified it, and also what I've done is I've got some nice dark tints. I've stuck the turbo on, and I've made the wheels to be black, because I think they go quite well with the dark silver, because it's like black and silver. There's a nice combination of the two colours. I think that actually looks really, really nice, but now it's time to see how fast it is up the airstrip. So let's go and see how much faster we've managed to make it. Okay, just been waiting for that plane to move off the runway. Bit of a problem when you're at the airport. Planes do use the runway, so you have to avoid them. Right, here we go. This seems to be... Oh, 2.9 seconds 0 to 60, so we've got a nice increase on our 0 to 60 time there. And we are already just about to hit. There we go, there's 104. From now on, this is all so much faster. Look at this, 112, 113. Can we get 114? Oh, 113 miles an hour. That's a pretty nice increase, and a 19.1 second. That's an interesting... That's not that much faster, really, in the time. But I think it's just got a lot more top end, and I think this probably would carry you through tracks a lot faster than it would in standard form. So that is it with the turbo, full, like, level 4 engine. We've got the race transmission and the brakes. And there was actually suspension, but I don't think... Actually, that didn't even have suspension in the list, did it? There was no suspension there, so maybe you can't even adjust the suspension for this, which is interesting. It's already done already. So there we go, 2.9 seconds, and we didn't actually reach 120 miles an hour because we didn't have any time. Well, there is another map called the Airport Circle, and it comes all the way back to there. But I don't think there's going to be any point where we reach 120 miles an hour. But I think maybe with the speed that we carry through on this, once we go through the turn and on the next runway, we should be able to hit 120, if it's even possible. It might not even be possible with this thing. So let's see. Where do we go from now? I don't know. It's not telling me where to go. Okay, I guess it's just timing to get all the way back to that thing that we have to make our own map, I guess. I thought it was going to have checkpoints or something like that. Do you know what? I can't see this reaching 120 miles an hour. It's not going to happen, is it? If it's not going to happen on this runway, it's not going to happen anywhere. Okay, it's not going to happen. 60 to 120. Not going to happen. Right, let's move on to the penetrator then and see if that thing can be any faster. Okay, here we are with the penetrator then. So first of all, nothing in Benny's mods to worry about. Then we have the wheels, and again, I want to keep these stock because I think they look really cool, but I'm wondering if maybe I should change the color. Oh, interesting. We can't actually change the color of this even with menus mod. Right, well, they're staying that color then, because I'm not going to change those wheels because I think they look awesome. Onto the spoiler then. So we have the stock, then we have the drift wing, which I don't really like that it ruins the line because I really like how the stock spoiler looks. Then we have the carbon wing, the tuner wing, the carbon wing type 2, and the GT wing. Now the GT wing is interesting in that it has the original plus this. I'm not sure because I actually really think it looks best quite standard, but let's just go for that and see how it all turns out. So on the front bumper we have the stock, then we have the open. Look at that, it looks like a face like that. Then we have the carbon chin, then the carbon chin version of that one, then we have this carbon splitter, and in the open grille version I'm going to go for the open grille. Oh my god, it looks like they look like fangs. It looks so silly. I might actually just go with the normal carbon splitter one because I'm not a fan of that big open wide grille on the bottom. On the rear bumper then, here we have the stock, then we have the chrome splitters right there, then we have the custom bumper, which has that fair to the original. Oh, I see, it's just slightly lighter. Okay, then we have the custom body carbon bits, then the tail thing that's carbon, don't like how that looks. Then we have the carbon aero bumper, and then the carbon tail aero bumper. I'm not entirely sold on that, I've got to admit. I'm not too sure. I think we might just go for the chrome splitter thing, but even then, I don't know. None of it looks right, but if we're going to go for like a proper race thing, then I guess it wouldn't really matter. We'll just go for this one. Let's go for that one, the carbon tail aero bumper, and try and make this the most outlandish one we can. On the skirts, we've got a huge selection here. So we have custom skirts, carbon skirts, street skirts, part carbon street skirts, invert street skirts. These are all rather interesting. Let's get further down and have a look. There we go, there's a much better view. The full carbon street skirts, the GT skirts, which we probably go for, the part carbon, which actually we go for those, or we have the invert ones of those. I'm going to go for the full carbon on that. So there's a full carbon on the side, there's our carbon thing there, and I guess there's our carbon thing on the back, so that's carbon everywhere. Exhausts, there's our stock. Then we have the dual titanium. Again, as you guys know, I'm not a fan of the titanium stuff. Then we have the 20. It's all titanium, isn't it? It's all. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why are they all titanium? I don't know, but those. They look stupid. They look absolutely ridiculous. Oh my god, who would do that? I don't know. I want to keep it stock. I've got to admit. I mean, I've shown you all those parts, but for this build, I can't make it crap. I'm sorry. I say that, I've got this big massive spoiler on it. I'm not sure where this build's going, I've got to admit. Right, so this is actually going to be all the stuff under here in the engine bay. So we have the stock, then we have the swept-back, then we have the angled, then we have the triple air filter, the big black air filter, the triple chrome filter, and then the chrome, big chrome one. I love how it looks standard, but maybe we'll go for the angled ones like that. That's pretty cool. I think that can work, but I do like those like pointing up trumpet things. I think they look absolutely amazing. Then onto the hood, we have the stock hood, the standard. What's the difference between stock and? Oh, okay. So the stock one actually has this little bit here. The standard one completely gets rid of it. That's interesting. Then we have that, which why? I mean, the engine's back there. What's this? What's this doing? Where does this go? It goes to nothing. Why? Okay. Then we have the carbon hood. The standard carbon hood, and then the carbon scooped hood. If we're going to go for like a carbon race thing, I might just go for the carbon hood that's like that, with the vent down. Or mind you, I do quite like how it looks with the standard one, so let's just go for the standard one then. On the roof, we have black covers. Where's that? Ah! That's not actually the roof, that's actually the other parts of the engine bay. Okay, black covers, painted covers, and chrome. I'm going to go for painted, because I think it's going to look pretty cool. I'll probably change it away from red, actually. So, let's go for level 4 upgrade, race brakes, race transmission, no horn, no armor, and turbo tuning. Nothing in the extras. And windows would go for just a light tint, light smoke. And then we just have to worry about the paint. So, let's just go for, what should we go for? I never know. I never know what theme I'm going for until I just jump in and pick something random. Do you know what? I like how that looks in bluish silver. I like how that looks with the white. I do really like that. But let's just keep going and see what else we can find here. Maybe something's going to stand out for us. Actually, bronze looks quite good because this is supposed to be like quite an older car, and I feel like bronze makes it sort of like classic looking. I don't know if anyone agrees with me, but I'm not, do you know what? I'm not too against that colour. And it's slightly different, so let's just go for bronze. I'm sure someone's going to hate it. Secondary is going to be what exactly? I don't think there is anything to change. No? No. I see, it also makes a bronze engine, which actually looks really cool. Yeah, I'm going to go for that. I'm not too sure about this spoiler deal going on here, but I guess it's supposed to look like a race car, so sod it. And that's everything done. So let's go and see what sort of speeds we can get out of this thing now. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Rev it up. And go. And let's see, because we had a 0 to 60 time of about 4. Okay, 3.4 now, so we got like a whole second off. That's pretty good. Now, we're already up to 100 miles an hour, but are we going to beat the 113 that we managed to get in the Tempesta? I think it might be close. Ooh, 114! We actually managed to get a higher top speed, and 19.6 brings us very close to the Tempesta, but I will say that the Tempesta is slightly faster. Even if the top end of this is probably just a little bit higher. On most races, you're probably not going to notice that, and I think the Tempesta out of the two probably going to be better. But I have to actually say, yes, this is done in single player, and yes, you might find that online speeds are slightly different. I'm not entirely sure how the online speeds work, but I have a feeling that they might sort of cut them back, so the speeds that I'm getting here might not be entirely accurate. You guys will have to let me know in the comment section if that is the case. But there we go. That's everything done. That's it. The Tempesta is definitely my favourite looking of the two. I'd say this has a lot more tuning options. I love how this engine looks, but I'm not entirely sold on this. I think that this looks much better in real life as XJ220. The Tempesta looks like a really good, solid GTA supercar. So I'm going to give my vote to the Tempesta today. If you disagree, let me know in the comment section below. Tell me if you think the Penetrator is better, Tempesta is better, or maybe something else. Maybe there's one of these secret cars coming out soon that you think is going to be a lot better. Let me know in the comment section below. But that is it. Thank you all very much for watching, and I shall see you all next time. Goodbye.